YouTube you know and love is dead. Those growth tactics that you used to use, the keyword research, the SEO, the thumbnail hacks, they don't work anymore. YouTube has released a bunch of new features which make it easier for you to earn, grow, and find better topics for your videos. But in order for you and me to truly thrive in this new era of YouTube, you need to know what these features are, but most importantly, you need to know how to use them. Let's dive into it. And by the way, this video is sponsored by Storyblocks. Okay, so these first batch of updates, features, trends, I don't know, whatever you want to call them, the newness that has come to YouTube are able to help us grow faster as long as we know how to utilize them. The first is that YouTube has gone mainstream. I know what you're thinking. Hasn't YouTube always been mainstream? I mean, yeah, to an extent, but now I really mean mainstream. A lot of industry people have been saying for a while that YouTube is a new TV. Essentially what that means is that more and more people are watching YouTube on their TV screens than ever before. In fact, YouTube is the #1 most watched streaming platform on television sets across multiple markets. You might be wondering, okay, but how does that help me grow and why does that mean that YouTube is now mainstream? Well, YouTube picked up on this huge shift in the way that people are watching and consuming YouTube content, and they just went all in. They purchased the streaming rights to the Oscars. They became the presenting partner for the FIFA World Cup. All of this to say that they've made some serious moves which are now forcing a lot of the general public to watch YouTube to consume their normal content. What that means for us is that imminently there's going to be a significant influx of people who have previously never watched YouTube in their life flocking to YouTube to watch the World Cup, to watch the Oscars, and whatever else. In the near future, someone might be watching the Oscars and see our little old video pop up on the right-hand side of the screen. Mental. So how do we leverage this? Well, I want you to identify one major upcoming live stream that is going to be aired on YouTube, and I want you to plan a piece of content that speaks to both your existing audience, but also to the viewers of that live stream audience. Now, if you're not quite sure which live stream you want to be focusing on, my recommendation would be the FIFA World Cup, because that literally starts imminently. Oh my God, I should really know when that starts. When does that start? 11th of June is when it starts. And for my viewers who aren't big football fans, you might be thinking, is it really that big of a deal that it's being streamed on YouTube? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. The World Cup is one of the biggest sporting events in the world. Be careful when you're utilizing this strategy. What you shouldn't do is become a football commentator overnight, because that won't work. What you should be doing is trying to find that link between those audience viewers and your audience viewers. Let's take my channel, for example. A link between my audience and that audience might be that there are a bunch of people watching the World Cup who would love to become football creators. You know, those creators who do those fancy tricks? I don't know the terminology. They do fancy tricks and they get a lot of followers for it. There is a distinct overlap between my audience who want to learn how to build an online profile and that audience who want to build an online profile by sharing their football tricks. You see what I'm getting at? Find the link, create some fresh content for both audiences, and you might just be able to capitalize on the influx of YouTube viewers that is coming within the next few weeks. Since we're talking about shiny, fresh YouTube features that are designed to help you grow, we simply must talk about collabs. YouTube now lets up to 5 creators co-own a video, which means that a video posted by one creator could be shared simultaneously across 4 other channels. The key thing to note about this feature is that it's not duplicating the same video, it's one single video that appears on multiple channels, which means views, clicks, and all of that good stuff could be driven by all of those 5 creators and attributed to the one single video. So how do we use this feature? Well, I want you to see the collaboration feature for what it is, a broadcast channel. It allows you and all the other creators involved to capitalize on getting reach from each of your channels. So what you want to do is identify a selection of creators, let's say 2 to 3, with adjacent niches to you. So it's really important that all of your audiences have a common interest or are similar in some way, because otherwise the content won't work. I then want you to get together and film a piece of content together, right? You want it to feature all of you and it needs to feature all of you equally. Then you want to upload the video as a collaboration with those creators and hopefully watch the views fly in. A bit of a warning here. I don't know if warning is the right word, but if you're hearing that tactic, you might be like, okay, but who gets the money? You know, like, does it get split between all 5 creators? No, the money actually goes to the person who originally uploaded the video. So in my opinion, if you're the one who comes up with the idea and goes ahead and gets a bunch of creators involved and you are organizing it, you are the one who should be uploading the video originally on your channel. If you want to have an agreement with those creators where you split the income made from that video into the future, go ahead and do that. That's so noble of you. But in my opinion, if you're doing most of the work, then I don't know, fair game. The third feature that's going to help you grow is audio dubbing. Now, this has been in the works for a really long time. However, it's now available for 20 different languages. Plus, YouTube's lip syncing technology will soon be available to all creators too. What this means, if you're not familiar with the world of dubbing, because I do feel like it's quite a niche world. It essentially allows you to change the language of your content. So if I was utilizing the dubbing feature, I'd be able to change what I'm saying into French or Spanish, etc. And then with the lip syncing technology, we'd be able to use AI to actually change how my mouth is moving so that when you are listening and watching me talk in another language, it actually looks like I'm speaking that language. It's not just like my mouth is doing this and then like the sounds are different. Do you know what I mean? Because I hate that. I feel like it disrupts the viewing experience. Now, how does this help you grow? Well, believe it or not, guys, there are a lot of people who don't speak our language. Wow. I know. There's a lot of people who don't speak our language. And actually, we don't realize how much we are capping our reach, our impact, our success by only creating content in the language that we speak. So if I was going to tell you to do one thing today to make the most of this new feature, it would be to audit your top 10 videos that you've shared within the last 1 to 2 years. The amount of time you select is going to depend on how often you upload. If you upload a long form more than once a week, or maybe you do a short form more than 5 times a week, you probably only need to audit your videos from the last year. Versus if you don't upload anywhere near as regularly, then you probably want to look at about 2 years worth of content because you need a good data set. What you want to be doing is just filtering your content to see the most successful. You don't even really need to dive into your analytics to this. You could just filter your content, right? You want to look at the content that's performed the best in that set period of time, and then you should strongly consider dubbing those videos. What I then want you to do, because no, it doesn't stop there, is to press pause on dubbing anything else. So you only want to dub the top 3 videos. Then I want you to sit and wait for at least 6 weeks worth of data to see if your reach, your impressions, your views improve in any way after you've dubbed. If they have, it's a strong signal that there's an audience out there who would benefit from all of your content being dubbed. So from there, you can start to make your way down the list of your most successful content in the past 1 to 2 years and slowly start to dub every single video based on popularity. All right, let's dive into the next group of features and updates. All of these are going to make it easier for you to find the best topics for your content. These are the ultimate tools that basically remove guesswork for you so you can really get to the nitty-gritty of what your audience want from you. The first tool is one that I've not actually spoken about on my channel before, Ask Studio. Have you guys spotted Ask Studio? It is the chatbot that is integrated with YouTube Studio and pops up on the right-hand side of the screen when you're navigating through the back end of your channel. It essentially allows you to ask YouTube questions about the content that you've created, about the content that you're planning on creating, and the bot will give you answers that are based on your channel. Very important point, because you might be thinking, girl, I got a chatbot. What do you mean? I've had a chatbot for years. Oh my God, it hasn't even been years. When were chatbots launched? Anyway, I digress. You might be thinking you already have a chatbot, and I'm sure you do, and I'm sure you're getting so much value from it, so congratulations. What you don't have is one that is synced to your channel and synced to your audience, and not even just your channel and your audience, but everyone else's. In order for you to make the most of Ask Studio, I want you to first of all make a habit of using it, but second of all, ask it one of these questions. The first is one of my favorites. Summarize the main themes in my recent comments. When you submit this question, Ask Studio will tell you exactly what your audience are saying, complaining about, loving, disagreeing with you on, etc. It helps you keep a pulse on how your audience feel about your content without you necessarily having to spend lots and lots of time sorting through lots of comments. The next question you should ask is, what are some topics that I should cover based on my audience interest? It's then going to dive into your audience behaviors, what content they're watching from you and other people on YouTube, and it's going to suggest a bunch of targeted video topics for you. And the last question you should tweak depending on your situation. So if you uploaded a video and it didn't perform very well, then I want you to ask Art Studio why. So say, why were my views lower on my last video? Why were my clicks lower on my last video? How did my last video perform compared to the rest of my catalog? Why did that last video perform better than my other videos? Do you get where I'm going with this? It's going to respond and give you tailored, personalized advice based on your data. The next tool you should be using that is going to help you optimize your content in general is, of course, A/B testing. I say of course because I feel like people bang on about this feature quite often, but it was a big deal when this was released on YouTube. What you're now able to do on YouTube is not only test 3 different thumbnails, but also test 3 different titles. Utilizing this feature will allow you to get a better understanding of what is driving clicks for your audience. If you didn't know this already, in order for you to share content that performs well, you need to make sure that people click on it, right? One of the greatest drivers to get people to actually click on your videos is your thumbnails. I like to refer to them as like adverts for your videos, and your titles. Those are the 2 things that are most likely to drive clicks for your videos. This feature allows you to test these 2 very important things and therefore help you understand what's actually working for you and your audience. In terms of how to utilize this, when you first get going, you want to be trialing completely different titles, right? Really use different ones so you can get some clear data on it. When it comes to your thumbnails, you want to only be changing one element. So maybe you change the copy on the thumbnails, or maybe you change the photo on all the thumbnails. By only only changing one element of the design, you're able to gather data over time as to what works. When you change every element of your thumbnail design and then test 3 completely different thumbnails, it can become really difficult for you to pinpoint what change actually led to a thumbnail performing better. Before we continue, we need to talk about the ultimate tool that you should be using to really enhance your video content. That tool is Storyblocks. Storyblocks is a human-made stock media library. It's basically built as the ultimate resource for creators and business owners. It's designed to help us tell better stories. And it does this by bringing together a high-quality library of stock footage, audio, photos, sound effects, templates, special effects, the lot. Not only do all these assets make it easier for us to create really high quality videos and tell better stories, but it also helps us save on average 3.5 hours per week. It does this by giving us access to thousands of customizable templates, which are available inside of After Effects, Premiere Pro, DaVinci Resolve, and Apple Motion. These templates allow you to easily utilize motion graphics, the kind of stuff that like the average editor like myself would not be able to use ordinarily. You can utilize these templates to create animations, logo reveals, etc., and really enhance your storytelling. Plus, you can rest assured that whether you're utilizing the templates, the images, the videos, the audio, etc., you'll know that everything you've downloaded is royalty-free, pre-licensed, and ready for personal, commercial, or even monetized projects. So you don't have to worry about copyright claims or anything like that. So to start telling better stories with the tools that I use, head to storyblocks.com/Jade Beeson. And they're offering a limited time discount for my audience only, that's you guys, which is only accessible through my link. So use the link and thank me later. Okay, last but certainly not least, the new features that are making it easier for you to earn more money. It's funny because people always seize up when I talk about the money element of things because they're like, you should just want to be a creator for the love of creating. And whilst I think you should love creating, otherwise don't do it, I do not believe for a second that money is not part of it as well. I don't think you can look me in the eye and be like, Jade, I could spend 15 hours a day working on this and not get paid a penny and I would feel fulfilled. I don't believe you. So on that note, let's talk about the features that we could be using to earn more money on YouTube. The first one is called dynamic ads. Listen up, because this is going to change the way that we get sponsorships on YouTube. It is literally going to massively disrupt the way that we do this. I know I have a flair for the dramatics, I know, but just believe me, okay? Dynamic ads is a feature being rolled out by YouTube, which is going to make it possible for you to sell and swap sections in your videos to sponsors. Let me just take a step back. When you get sponsorships for your content, for example, this video is sponsored by Storyblocks. I have pre-sold that sponsorship slot. I've spoken to Storyblocks about it. They've agreed with this video title. I filmed the whole video in one go. It includes the sponsorship. They approve it, it's posted, that's it, right? Now with this new dynamic ads technology, I would be able to go to a brand and say, hey, you could sponsor this slot in this video for the next 12 months. After 12 months, that sponsored clip will be removed and swapped with someone else, unless you want to pay additional money to remain in the video. This allows you to swap ad slots in your video after the fact, sell these ad spots retrospectively to other brands, but also put time limits on how long a sponsored slot actually stays in your video. And in my opinion, that is the most lucrative part of all of it. Because once you're able to say like, yeah, of course you can sponsor this video, but only for 12 months, not only does that unlock a lot of sponsored inventory for you, if I had 12-month limitations on all of my videos, I would have like 200 to 300 videos in my catalog right now that would be available for sponsorship. They're not available for sponsorship right now because I didn't negotiate a time clause because dynamic ads didn't exist. So therefore, the sponsored slots in those videos will stay there forever and ever so long as I have my channel, right? But if I use dynamic ads, I'd be able to swap those out, sell in new ad spots and earn more money from them. Fun fact, this is actually how a lot of podcast networks work, which is why if you've ever listened to a really old podcast before from a few years ago and then noticed that the ad break is actually promoting something that's brand new and thought, how does that happen? This podcast is 10 years old. That's how. If you want to make the most of this new feature, what I want you to do is identify your top 10 videos that perform the best from an evergreen perspective. So these are videos that have consistently gotten a lot of views for your channel and will continue to do so well into the future. Those are your premium ad slots, and those are the ones that I want you to sell to brand partners if you start to use dynamic ads. The next feature that's going to help you make more money is YouTube's shopping AI feature. When you sign up to YouTube Shopping, which basically means that you can use their shopping shelf. Have you ever seen this before? I actually really do need to do this for my channel at some point. The shopping shelf allows you to tag products that will appear under your video, and if people purchase through those links, you can earn an affiliate payout for them. What YouTube Shopping AI does is automatically detect when you've referenced a product and add it to your shopping shelf. So you don't have to waste lots of time doing manual adding, it will just appear under your video and you will earn an affiliate commission when people buy from that link. Now, if you want to utilize this feature, you first need to get started with YouTube shopping. I'll drop a link in my description that will help you go ahead and do that. But please note that in order for you to unlock any form of like monetization within YouTube, you do need to be part of their partner program. I will link to a video up here where I talk about the partner program in more detail, and also a resource below in case you're not familiar with it. Last but not least, we need to talk about YouTube creator partnerships. Now, this used to be called Brand Connect. Does any of you know what I'm referring to here? If you don't, then don't stress, because they've clearly rebranded and they have a whole new approach to facilitating brand partnerships with creators and brands. So YouTube creator partnerships is essentially a tool that utilizes Gemini, so that's Google/YouTube's AI tool function. Not the best explanation I've ever done, but you know what I mean. It uses Gemini to help brands find the best creators for their campaign. So it uses Gemini and also integrates all of the data that it has behind every single YouTube channel to actually find the right creator fit for the right brand, which should mean that we should find it easier to find the right brand partners for our channel, because it's a two-way street. Now, if you're curious what this looks like from a brand's perspective, I did a little digging and I actually found this screenshot. So you can see how your channel might be appearing when brands are searching for the right creator. There are some things I'm going to need you to do to make the most of this and actually increase the chances of you getting a brand deal. I want you to go to YouTube Studio, click on Earn, then click on Partnerships. On the right-hand side, you will see an option to create your own media kit. I want you to click on that option, follow the instructions so that YouTube can sync all of your data and create a media kit for you that will sit within YouTube platform. Once that's there, you can either use it to share with potential brand partners if you're doing it the traditional way and you're just pitching to people, or you can sit and wait for the brand deals to come in. Now, if you know me well, you'll know that I don't like to sit and wait. So that option is rarely for me. But hey, you choose the option that's best for you. Regardless, I want you to follow those steps because they will increase the chances of you landing your next brand deal. Let me know in the comments which one of these many features I just spoke to you about are you going to use, because I'd love to know your thoughts. If you feel like hanging around, I recommend watching this video. It's all about how traditional SEO is dead. I don't want you to panic. I break it all down in that video, but it's a must watch for any budding YouTube creators. Don't forget, if you want to get an exclusive discount to Storyblocks, head to storyblocks.com/Jade Beeson or click the link in my description. Thanks so much for watching. As always, I can't wait to see you in my next video.